Continuing our exclusive interview series with CD2 Congressional candidate Chuck Wooten, we'd like to ask you next, Chuck, as a conservative candidate, how do you appeal to the mainstream voter?
That's an interesting question. I think I might have an answer. We're going to approach this just from kind of a whole person concept, if you will. First and foremost, me personally, I've lived around the world my life, so I've got an interesting perspective on things, a little bit more pragmatic, perhaps than a lot of folks. Conservatism aside, I'm an American first, and I have a whole lot of confidence in the voters in Congressional District 2, because I know that they're patriots and they're Americans, and my appeal is I don't waver. I'm not a fair weather politician that will change the story from place to place. It goes as it goes, and it goes as I believe it. But first and foremost, what I say aligns with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So if that makes me a conservative that's unpopular, I can't really control what folks think about that. But I am consistent, and I'm true to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So for the folks that I like to talk about that are running for office, and they start putting things in their or terms in their stump speeches like collaboration. I think some of us have heard that.
We have.
Compromise is another one that you'll hear a lot. Those things just don't work for the American people, because that's exactly what's gotten us into the place that we're at. And that's why you're seeing an uprising, especially in this election cycle, around the country, of conservatives that are winning key races in key states. We can't ignore that. And we know that if you don't like what's going on in Washington right now, you have to change who you send there.
Yes.
And if you've got a quote-unquote moderate, if you've got a quote-unquote liberal, whatever you want to call them, if you have someone that has sold you out in your district, you need somebody that will stand up and fight for you, and that, I think, is the appeal.
Well put, Chuck.
Thank you.
Any of our viewers who would like to know more about the candidate can either Google CD2 Chuck Wooten, or simply check out his website at wooten2014.com.